What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 181 of Park to Prem here with Town. Today we are going to be kicking off our Champions League campaign against Fenerbahce. Yes, we have had the group stage drawn. Today we have the first game in our group. Two what should be easier games in Zenit and Fenerbahce, and then a spicy game or two against Bayern Munich. And I say spicy because for multiple reasons, there's going to be added spice. Of course, we beat them in the Champions League final way back when, but since then, and since last episode, there's been a little bit of transfer business. Yes, the deadline day was a little bit of a mad one in terms of for us. Of course, in England, the transfer deadline day closes a little sooner. As you can see, a lot of money spent on deadline day and one huge sale made on deadline day. Let's talk about this first. Roger Makassi going to PSG. Disappointing really to lose him, but the money was just way too much. I couldn't refuse it. We got offered £114 million. So, yeah, I wasn't going to turn it down. I had a replacement that I kind of thought could be a really good addition, and, well, we lost Makassi. It's a sad day, and I know for the South African contingency out there who watch my videos, it's going to be a bit disappointing. But in his place, we have signed Elias Schumacher, a player who I know loads of you were very keen on. When we took on Dortmund last year and they knocked us out of the Champions League, this man was their key player. Loads of you saw him and thought he looked very good. And to be fair, I'm inclined to agree. So you can see him here compared to Makassi, just really a better defender than Makassi. I guess that's the easiest way to describe him. £95 million paid is not a small amount, although when you compare that to the sale of Makassi, we have technically made a little bit of money on that deal all in all. Anyway, he wasn't the only additions on deadline day. I did sign Smoljo. He is back. He is at the club. Is he worth 150 million? Absolutely not. I'm not under any illusion that he's worth that much. I probably wouldn't pay more than 60 million for him, but we were swimming in money, and when you look at it, he's a player who played for us way back in the National League. He's a player who I wanted to end the series with under our wing. I want him to come and start his career at Town and end it with us here. And if I have to pay for that, so be it. I will say, despite having only one clean sheet in 5, his actual average rating is really blooming good right now. For a goalkeeper in Football Manager, anything above a 7 is basically godlike. And he was in the World Team of the Year last year. So a good little addition, although eagle-eyed viewers may notice another goalkeeper alongside him, and that was another one of our deadline day dealings. This was a player who I have had an eye on for a long while, Sven Brand. He was transfer listed on deadline day. His contract at Gladbach was expiring at the end of the year. I was presented with the option to sign him for £16 million, and you can bet your bottom dollar at £16 million I was going to buy him. Now, the weird thing is here, if you were to just look at the polygon, you would say, well, he's way better than Smoljo. But actually, when you look at it like this, it becomes a lot more tight, I suppose, to decide which of the players you would prefer. I'll let you decide. I think Smoljo is the better player overall. I just prefer the mentals. I prefer the slightly better aerial reach and command of area over handling. But all in all, not a great deal of difference between them. And it is a little bit of a sad day for Morrigan, really, isn't it? He's gone from first choice goalkeeper to third choice goalkeeper in, well, a couple of hours of deadline day. But it was a deal that I made, and you know what, for all the years where we've been told, and you guys have told me in the comments, Jack, you need better goalkeepers, we do now officially have better goalkeepers, everyone. That problem has been solved. Anyway, a couple of other additions that we made. Hubert Schenk has joined us. He is an Austrian centre-back, 18 years old, just a little bit of a long-term signing, I suppose, trying to secure a good future for Town once we do leave the club. I've seen a lot of comments saying, Jack, this summer you should just spend all the money that you can and just get all the world's best players. And to an extent, I have done that. I mean, Smoljo was in the World Team of the Year. Schumacher is insane. But I do still want to make the club as sustainable as I can, although the wages and stuff are going to be a concern once we do move on. Anyway, one further signing, one that probably caught your eye, £120 million spent on Samuel Gaultier from Bayern Munich, who we have in our Champions League group. And let me tell you now, this man, oh my word. Just drink it in. Drink it in. He's going to be playing centre mid for us. We've changed our system a little bit, and he's actually going to be playing as a roaming playmaker. Now, as far as roaming playmakers go, he pretty much has it all. What an insane player this man is. I feel like we should just compare him to Kaiser, just for, a good comparison of two world-class midfielders. There's your difference. So yeah, £120 million spent. That is a large sum of money, but he is only 26. He's entering his prime. He's a world-class player, and without a doubt, he just adds a massive amount of quality to our team, whilst also weakening potentially one of our big rivals when it comes to Europe this year. And I suppose we've done that twice with the Dortmund and Bayern Munich signings of Schumacher and Gauthier. I do find it funny that we signed Smoljo and then the next continue PSG bid on McCassie. So I guess that this money that we received was just the money that we paid for Smoljo. So I feel like it was smart. Smart. I mean, to be fair, if you told me you can swap Smoljo for Smoljo for McCassie and 35 million, that would have seemed like a really good deal in terms of trying to get Smoljo, because McCassie obviously hasn't been a nailed-on starter for a few years now. And when you put it in that context, it makes me feel a little more comfortable, even if it is still a little bit mad, the amount of money we have paid. You'll see here, Barcelona did bid. Why is the word bid? I mean, I was saying it correctly. Help me, everyone. I don't want to talk about it, clearly. So my subconscious is kicking in. Morgan had a bid from Barcelona. 52 million. I didn't take it. He's our club captain, he's our boy, and even if he's going to be a backup, and I will say now he has been demoted to backup and he's agreed to it, even if he's going to, be our backup, he's our boy. I'm not going to let him go. You'll notice on the ins a load of signings for the future. Just a few of these to look at real quick. Alan is joining us from Botafogo. We were looking to sign him last episode. Evora is going to be joining from Santos, another very good player, long-term future secure. And then I did spend £40 million on Dortmund's key player. This is far too much. I don't know what I was thinking. I just had the money in my pocket and I looked at him, and on the face of it, to be fair, ignore the stars, he just looked really blooming good at 16 years old with professional personality. I think he will become a £60 million player. We signed him for 40. We'll see longer term, I suppose, down the line where we do holiday into the future with Taulaw, what becomes of this chap. But yeah, not a small dealing to make. Alongside those, just a load of other players just signed for the long-term future. You know the deal by now, I feel like. Anyway, that's what's been happening off the pitch. On the pitch, things have been going absolutely superbly. We have been scoring goals for fun, even if defensively we've not been as good as I would like us to be. The first game we had was against Tottenham Hotspur, as you can see here. First goal of this game, Andrei Shvetsov with the best assist of the series. Just beautiful stuff. I mean, they just couldn't react quick enough. But no, in all seriousness, he's missed a penalty in this game. He actually missed another penalty a couple of games later, Shvetsov. And I think in our first 5 or 6 league games, we've had 4 penalties this year. Anyway, Shvetsov did score, and then not long after that, Holman added a third to the game. Lovely little 3-0 win. Tottenham, not a bad side by any means, but, well, comfortable, was 3-0 up after half an hour, and that's kind of how it ended. It is worth noting, we did play Brandon in that friendly that I scheduled. 25-0 it finished. Cancina had a lovely time. So, yeah, traditions upheld. Next game we had was against West Brom. 5-1 in this game. And I'll tell you what, I was a little bit scared in this game because it was 1-1 at the break and they were 1-0 up after 5 minutes. The ball hammered home at the near post, past Smoljo in goal. Ibrahim with the finish. Maticevic, though, was a bit of a hero for us in this game. He grabbed a couple of goals. He made a pretty good impact. Obviously, a player who isn't a nailed-on starter by any means, especially with the Gauthier addition, but looking to rotate the team pretty frequently. He chipped in with one in this game. Was 1-1 at the break, and then in the second half, we really just exerted our dominance. Shvetsov grabbed one to keep his good goal-scoring form going. An own goal then helped us. And then goals for Stevie Norman and Maticevic, but maybe a little bit of a cause for concern in this game that, we conceded early and it was 1-1. West Brom also had a player sent off, which definitely helped us out. All in all, though, an away win is always going to be good. And, with this result here, we surpassed the record in Premier League history for longest unbeaten run. I think it's 54 games now. It goes back to January of 2036. We are now in September of 2037, for context. Anyway, the next game we had was against Liverpool. Always going to be a difficult one, this one. They're predicted to finish reasonably high in the league, but we were at home for it, and, we came out on top just about. Claudio Holman getting a goal in this game. He's been on a really good run of form, actually, at centre-mid to start things this year. Playing alongside Gauthier. We'll have a look at how I've been lining up. You will also notice that Schumacher is in the team, or you may have caught it. But in this game, we got off to a good start. They then equalised just after half-time, And really, in the second half, this game burst into life. Mike Frost got a goal in the 52nd minute. Then Andre came on off the bench, got man of the match and got goal of the game. It ended up being the winner. Neil Warnock with a late consolation for them, unfortunately, wasn't enough if you were a Liverpool fan. A great little win for us, and Shvetsov missed a penalty in this game in the first 5 minutes. So considering that minor setback, rather happy with how this game ended up finishing. And from this game against Liverpool, we went straight into a game against another Merseyside club at Everton. Not going to show the highlights because we would be here for a while. We won 8-1. 8 goals scored, 2 for Frost, 2 for Shvetsov, a goal for Norman as well. The assists shared around, but Holman getting 3 of them. That's not a bad contribution by any means. I believe the term is we super sported them. In fact, it was 7-0 at half time. So the second half was 1-1, which almost feels disappointing in a weird way. Either way, great result, record-breaking win, I think, for an away win in the Premier League. We'll take it. And in our last game, we took on Birmingham, 4-2 win in this one, Frost with 1 and Shvetsov with a hat-trick. Man, this boy, he is in form. 7 goals, 4 assists in 5 games. Ridiculous stuff. We've started the season so hot. As I said, defensively, we've really not been the best we've ever been. But you look at this, Shvetsov is top goal scorer. Frost has 5 goals in 5 games. And, you can see here on the assist front, Holman doing great. And, Shvetsov appearing there too. If we sort by average ratings, a hell of a lot of players in our team here, including Mateus Aurelio, who's just kicked on and had a fantastic start to the year at right back, justifying that new contract and the faith we have put in him. And, just across the board, we've been very, very good. This is how we've been lining up since the additions of Gautier and Schumacher. So Schumacher's come in, and then Craig Austin has unfortunately been demoted to the bench. As much as I want to champion English talent, Schumacher's just a nuts defender. I mean, there's no other way of putting it, really. He has to start. And alongside Cesar, they've looked like absolute titans at the back. Of course, Smolio in goal has had a reasonably good start. Gautier, you can see here, playing alongside Holman as a Mazzala on attack, but playing as a roaming playmaker. Not a role I very frequently use in Football Manager, mostly because it's almost impossible to get players who are good roaming playmakers, but ignore the circle, ignore this assessment of it, a load of rubbish. Gautier is absolutely insane at this role, and also, although he's not got good finishing or long shots, you can see here he's got the player preferred move, looks for pass rather than attempts to score, so that's a very useful thing to have, and paired with plays 1-2s and gets forward whenever possible. Him and Holman have been running rampant in midfields. I mean, just a really complementary world-class duo, to be fair. I mean, when you put them alongside each other, they're kind of very different players, but world-class in their own rights. And so as a pairing, they work great. And Kaiser just behind just has a field day, just pinging passes from deep. To be honest, the midfield is just ridiculous now. You can see across the board, the average ratings have been so good. I am going to start Tennell for today's game, just because he's been chipping in with a lot of assists in games to start this season. I will issue an apology to Vincent, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Aurelio as well here, you can see 1 assist for us in 3 games, but just playing really solidly. There has been a lot of rotation going on though, and at right back especially, the great news is, as well as Deacon, Alex Boyo, now officially a right back. The game recognises him as a right wing back, and at 20 years old, he looks like he could be the long-term successor to Mateus Aurelio all of a sudden. You can see here, very technically gifted, better defensively, just not quite as quick and not quite as good going forward, really, the difference makers there. But as far as second choice right backs go, I'd argue he's blooming good. Anyway, up front, Norman doing well. I mean, we've not really mentioned Norman at all, but he's just been doing the business. 2 goals and 3 assists. It's just a shame that he's alongside Frost and Shvetsov. But anyway, in terms of the Champions League, whilst there is that temptation to rotate the team, and I would like to do it in the later stages if we can afford to, I want to play a full strength 11. This is the competition that has my number 1 priority. Worth noting that whilst we've been going very well in the Premier League, Manchester United have also been going very well. They've won all of their games as well. You'll notice Man City just nowhere to be seen. They are down in 13th right now with 5 points in 5. Doesn't look like it's going to be their year. You can see here, looking at the season preview, they were predicted to finish 3rd. This is the team of the Premier League best team. It's just our team and then Alvin John in goal. Maybe I should just sign Alvin John to send a message. It would be safe to say that we do now have the world's best team and that we absolutely should be winning the Premier League this year. Just so many players entering their primes now. You know, for most positions, the ages of kind of 25 to 32 are really where players start to hit their peak. In goalkeepers and attackers, it can be a tiny bit later, and indeed in defenders. The actual official, it depends on position, right? But really, 27 to 32 is at their prime. Some players will enter their prime a little sooner at 25. Some will end a little sooner. But the long and short of it is, whilst we have got a generation of youngsters kind of coming through in their really early 20s, the bulk of the starting 11 is quickly approaching that kind of super prime age, and so many of them are just world-class players. But anyway, Fenerbahce, our next victims. I will hope for a great little result against them. We've been going well in the league. Now it's time to, shift our focus to the Champions League. We've got Fenerbahce. We've then got Zenit. And our third game of the group stage is going to be the game against Bayern Munich, which inevitably will be next episode. Hopefully, we're going to be able to, set a good benchmark in our opening 2 games against slightly lesser opposition, including this one here, just to help us on our merry way. Anyway, Kaiser whips in. Early on, Schumacher hits the woodwork, cleared away just about by Fenerbahce, but, well, a concerning sign if you're a Fenerbahce fan. After 2 minutes, we've hit the woodwork. One thing that we really have in our team, and it's a bit of an underrated characteristic, is just incredible aerial ability, which really helps us on attacking set pieces. I was about to big up how it helps on defending set pieces, but let's wait. As Smoljo makes a save, of course, this is the first game Smoljo is back in a live com. Drink it in, everyone. Enjoy that save he just made there. We're going to be scrutineering him, I feel like, over his price tag. 150 million is ridiculous. His media description is legendary goalkeeper, though, and he is a legend of Towlaw. And I will say, so far in this competition and so far this season, he's actually made some really big saves, even though we've been winning relatively convincingly. And, well, early start here. Shvetsov, 11th goal of the year. Mike Frost with the assist. They're all I think Tanel there has started doing a skiing celebration. He's loving it. That looked very choreographed, didn't it, by our boys? The chemistry is there, clearly, not just when it comes to playing football, but in the celebration game. Lovely glancing header by Shvetsov. Could he be on for another hat-trick? He got one last game. I'm sure he's going to be in the hunt for it. It's worth noting Shvetsov, and I checked, he's on 173 Premier League goals, if my math is correct, which, to be honest, it may not be. That means he is 2 goals away from matching Thierry Henry's goals scored in a season. So that's something for him to aim towards there. Whether or not he can actually achieve that, I suppose, remains to be seen, as Norman is through, and Norman tucks away a lovely finish. And make no mistake, that ball from Matheus Aurelio was filthy. I know Norman's known as a bit of a provider in the team, but this finish here was really nice. You can see Frost lays it back to Aurelio. The false nines just drops so deeply, and Aurelio cuts inside, pings a ball forward inch perfectly, and Norman just tucks it away absolutely expertly there. Lovely finish at the near post. We move top of the group. Let's sort out the goal difference. In hindsight, maybe I could have rotated the team that little bit more, but, well, hindsight's a wonderful thing, right? At the time, I don't know what to expect from Fenerbahce. They could be scary. I mean, they are scary. I feel like whenever I play Fenerbahce, I mention the story, but I went on holiday to Turkey years ago. We're talking like 12 or 13 years ago. When would it have been? 2004, maybe 2005. And I went to a Turkish bar, and they were showing the football, and it was Everton v Fenerbahce, and I think it was a pre-season friendly. And there was this woman who was sat at the front of the bar, like in front of the screen, and she was dressed like an ultra, just watching a pre-season friendly in a bar for Fenerbahce. It was the most hardcore fan I've ever seen at any kind of bar anywhere in the world supporting their football team. So that's the lasting impression I have of Fenerbahce as a team, is this woman who was just like dressed like an ultra in like a bar/restaurant. Not even near Fenerbahce, just in a random part of Turkey. I don't know if she lived near Fenerbahce and was on holiday. Either way, it was against Everton. I'm pretty sure it was a pre-season friendly. It may have been a European qualifier, now that I think about it. It was 15 years ago, so forgive me. Either way, Fenerbahce, you have my respect for that. And to be fair, whilst I've been waffling on, and I don't think I spent that long telling the story, I think it's just been a case of there's been a lack of highlights, we're quickly approaching half-time and it's still only 2-0. You wondered after he got the second, would the floodgates just open? The answer is absolutely not, as Frost, oh my word, Frost, oh my word, Holman with the assist. I'm not sure what the goalkeeper's doing, to be fair, but in terms of Frost's header, from the distance he was out, he couldn't have really put it in a much better position. Holman with the ball in a deep area, a not dissimilar ball to the one that Mateus Aurelio played for Norman's goal. I guess that was a little simpler than Aurelio's, but nevertheless, superb pass through, 3-0, and there's another highlight starting right away. As soon as I've drawn attention to the fact we didn't have a highlight for 35 minutes, suddenly two are coming along at once. You can see Bayern Munich are 4-0 up in their game. This could well descend into the group of who can thrash the other teams better, and then ourselves and Bayern just draw against each other. Anyway, Aurelio inside to Gauthier, making his debut. Of course, a few players making their debuts in terms of live comms, and well, Tennell making that move into the left-back position ahead of Vincent. So he's got a little bit of a point to prove as Tennell, as he's going to beaverly work back. Run, Sammy, run. I mean, look at that running by him. Can he actually put in a tackle? No, all that running, and they very nearly score a screamer off the back of it. But I appreciate the work rate, and I appreciate the physicals to get back, if nothing else, Tennell. Going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. Apparently Cesar's looking stressed. Just have a little calm word with him. There's no pressure on you, buddy. He didn't appreciate that, apparently. Anyway, it's 3-0 at the break. They were playing a very, very, not necessarily defensive system, but they're playing a 4-4-1-1, which we've kind of just torn to shreds. With a few players on bookings, I think I'm going to take them off just to be safe. So we'll bring in Matasevic, and then at the back we're going to bring in Craig Austin in for Schumacher, who, I mean, he didn't really put a foot wrong on his live com debut, to be fair, Schumacher. But I'm just going to play things safe. I feel like that's the most logical thing to do at this moment in time. The game looks like it's just about done, right? So why take any unnecessary risks as the ball's whipped in? And, well, is this going to be disallowed, or is this just the game lagging behind? It's the game lagging behind. It's 3-1. With 20 minutes left, I feel like I've not got shouty enough in this game. I've let them off. But Seixas, that's maybe not how you say his name. We'll go Seixas with the header. Just sounds a bit rude, doesn't it, as a name? You've got to say it carefully. Makes it 3-1 to Fenerbahce. I was about to go attacking, but now we've got a highlight. Norman whipping it in. Shetsov's there, heads just over. Let's go to attacking. Let's not show any respect to Fenerbahce. We're the better team. We're the big dogs on campus, the head honchos of this group. We need to assert it against all the teams. And well, it's going to be Norman over it again, swinging it in on his left foot, and he's going to do so towards Shvetsov. Free header at the near post, adds a second to his goal tally for the game. I mean, could he get another 50-goal season? At the rate he's currently going, Andrei Shvetsov could still conceivably do it. And, well, this should put the result beyond bed. I feel like at 3-1, they weren't going to come back. But, I don't know, with 10 minutes left, stranger things have happened. But to be 4-1 up now, with the way this game's played out, I'm pretty content and confident that this game is done. Let's take off Frost, give Dylan Turnbull, no, it's Dylan Turnbull, not Dylan Turnbull, Jack. Give Dylan Turnbull a quick little run out just for the last minute, waste a little bit of time. Very pleased with that result though. That sets us off on a very good footing, hopefully for the rest of this group stage now. You know, Bayern are going to be the big rivals. They beat Zenit 6-1, so we've got to be ready to take them on. But Shvetsov with a top performance. If we just look at Bayern Munich, they've got a scarily good team. Sofian Bazaz is their best player, an Algerian 22-year-old. Did actually look at him, but he can only play centre attacking mid and right mid. Of course, a few other players that we're pretty familiar with at this point, including Fjörehed, who is just nuts. They've also got this guy, Horbrich Gerstner. That's definitely not how you say his name, but a player who's always in the hat for the Ballon d'Or award. I don't think he's won it yet, but he always comes pretty close. So despite us getting Gauthier away from them, we've still got to show them respect, everyone. They're a good team, Bayern Munich, and next episode, that is going to be the big game of the group stage, really. You can see in terms of our fixtures coming up, we're going to be taking them on towards the tail end of October, so that's going to be a big game for us there. And then you'll see that we've got them not long after at all. In fact, it's really soon after, only a couple of weeks. And immediately after that, well, not immediately, actually, I tell a lie. After an international break, also have Manchester United. So expect a little bit of Bayern Munich, I think, in the next couple of episodes, as we will be taking them on twice. That second episode likely to be a double header as well with the game against Manchester United. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. I'll let you decide what to make of the transfer business. I hope for those of you who wanted the world-class signings, I've gone out there and signed a couple of absolutely world-class players with the money that we had. Obviously, the McCassie sale opened the doors for it, but we still have £115 million in the transfer budget. Our wage budget is rather big now, I will level with you. It's the biggest in the Premier League, but we can afford it. We're doing fine. And I feel like now we can kind of look at our team as is somewhat implied by the media Dream 11 for the Premier League. We should be winning everything now. If I don't win everything this year in our final year, it's completely on me and it will loom over me for the rest of my days. Our team is very, very good indeed. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. Thank you so much for your support on the series, on the channel, all of the above. If you are a Patreon supporter, yesterday I uploaded a little teaser intro thing that is what's coming next after Park to Prem. So if that interests you, go and check it out over on Patreon. It's available to all tiers, and it will be coming to everyone in the not-so-distant future. So keep an eye out for it, but very exciting times ahead, that is for certain. Anyway, that's all from me today. I've rambled on for long enough. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.